then we're losing and you're losing, right? So this is a voluntary thing. You're voluntarily choosing to be a member of the Air National Guard. So it's important to us that when you show up, you're excited, you're ready to do your job. And obviously, if you don't like your job, then that can hinder those things. So that's something that's really important to us. Does anybody know anything about promotions in the Air National Guard? Anybody?
Somebody dies.
Somebody dies? I always get that.
I was gonna say either someone dies or retires.
Dies or retires, okay. So that's something that a lot of people say. And really, honestly, the promotions in the Air National Guard can come very quickly. It's not based off if someone dies or retires. It's a merit-based system. So no, we don't box test, okay? So we don't test for rank. However, we promote based on merit. So if you're that person that comes to your drill weekend every single weekend and you're doing a good job and you're a hard worker, that you're pressing through, then you could see that promotion happen fairly quickly. It is based off position availability. So up to staff sergeant, it's just like you on active duty. So active duty promotes automatically up to senior airman, right? And then you have to start testing after that, right? So we promote automatically up to staff sergeant. As long as you are, a deserving airman, then we will promote you up to staff sergeant. And then from there, it's based a little bit more on merit, and then it's based on position availabilities. So promotions can happen very quickly in the Air National Guard if you're a hard charger, go-getter kind of person. If you're a person that just comes to drill weekend and just does the bare minimum, don't ever want to move. Do we got any of those in here? No one's going to admit to it? Yeah. Then yeah, for sure. I mean, it could take a little bit longer for you to get promoted, but most of the time, promotions happen very quickly. Anybody, senior airmen in here that are separating, you will automatically go into a staff sergeant position if you go into the Air National Guard. So all you would have to do in order to be able to put on that staff sergeant rank is to come in, show yourself, good airman, that kind of thing, and then make sure you have your time and grade and your time and service done, just like those same requirements on active duty, and then make sure you get your airman leadership school done, and then you're going to be able to sew staff sergeant on very quickly as soon as you meet those requirements. So it's not something you're going to have to wait around for. Anyone have any questions about that? No? Okay. Let's see here. A few more things. You guys are a quiet group. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I talked a little bit about our full-time opportunities. We have two statuses of full-time employees. We have what's called technician, and then we have what's called AGR. AGR is the Active Guard Reserve members. They're the members that are just like you. So all AGR members get paid based on their rank, get all the exact same benefits you have. Free TRICARE, things like that. The only difference between AGR members and you is we don't test for rank. So again, it goes back to that merit-based system. And then we PCS by choice. So you could get a AGR position at a certain location, and you can stay at that location until you reach your 20 years of active duty service. It's pretty cool, huh? So your career lies in your hands. So if you don't remember anything else that I say during this briefing, it's important that you know that in the Air National Guard, your career lies in your hands. Whether you get promoted, what job that you do, and then whether you want a PCS. We're not going to ever tell you that you have to change locations. So that's a really good thing that we benefit from. The second status of employees that we have are technician employees. The technician employees, they work Monday through Friday or Monday through Thursday, just like you on active duty, maintaining the Air National Guard base, just like you maintain your active duty bases. And then they do their drill weekends 1 week in a month. So those technician positions are WG or GS level scales, so they're still federal status of employee, and then you have your military affiliations on the drill weekends. So, both of those positions can be located, so if you're separated and you're looking at wanting a full-time position, you can actually get on usajobs.gov and find them, or you can go to the state websites and find them as well. All the states post their website or their information on the websites. So, any questions about any of those?
I have a question.
Yeah.
If you're a GS employee and a technician, do you get GS retirement and guard retirement?
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's a really, really good program, and if you are interested in learning about it, come talk to me. The GS and the WG scale, you actually get credit for your active duty time in that system as well. So how many years do you have on active duty?
5 years.
5 years, okay. So if you separate and you get a federal job, GS or WG level job, then you can take that 5 years that you had on active duty and do what's called, we have a buyback program, and you can buy back that time and actually come onto the GS or WG scale with 5 years automatically in that scale. So you're building 2 retirements at the exact same time. So then whenever you go to retire at 20 years, because you have to do at least 20 years in the technician program, you only have to do 15 more years, and you're getting that technician retirement, but you're also building your military retirement as well. So it's a real good program. Anyone else have questions about that? Okay. Okay, so you guys are all here because you guys are within like 18 months of your separation, right? So that you guys probably have been hearing all of these Poly Force Review Boards, ERBs. I mean, you're probably sitting next to people that may be losing their job and they didn't do anything, but they're losing it. Well, there's lots of different programs out right now, and we're taking a lot of those members. We're actually gaining a lot of positions that we can actually put members into. So, you know, if you fall into any of those, it doesn't just qualify you from the Air National Guard. Right now, we have 2 ways to actually transition over to the Air National Guard, and it's Palace Chase or Palace Front, okay? The Palace Front is basically what that means is whenever you separate from active duty, you join the Air National Guard the very next day. With that, we have bonuses. We have up to $20,000 bonuses for certain AFSCs if you're a Palace Front member. So it actually allows you to transition into the Air National Guard and have that civilian lifestyle. And that $20,000 bonus can help assist that. If you are getting separated from the active duty Air Force and you're getting separation pay or anything like that, you're still eligible to get our bonuses and also get separation pay. So a lot of people wonder, well, can I get both? Absolutely. So if you're in that situation where you're getting told you have to leave active duty and you may not want to, and you're getting that separation pay, and then you come over to us, you can get both, and you may actually come out ahead. So it's actually a really good program. The other status that we have is our Palace Chase. So if you're a first-term airman, once you've completed half of your service commitment to the active duty Air Force, you're eligible to Palace Chase. Basically what that means is that you finish out your time in the Air National Guard. If you are the FY14 or FY15 Palace Chase AFSCs that are qualified, all you have to do is finish the remaining time. So if you have 3 years left on active duty, you do 3 years in the Air National Guard, and that's all you have to do on a Palace Chase. If you under the regular Palace Chase, you double that time in service. So if you have 3 years left on active duty, you'll do 6 years in the Air National Guard. Again, you can pick your job. So you're being released off of the Palace Chase program, goes off of your AFSC. However, but when you come into the Air National Guard, you can actually pick whatever job, whether you want to stay in your same AFSC or whether you want to retrain. Anyone have questions about the Palace Chase program? Okay. A few more days. Okay, so I pretty much went over the retraining and bonuses and all that kind of stuff. So now I'm going to open the floor to some questions. I know somebody has some questions about the Air National Guard. Yes, sir.
I know with the Guard you have state-specific education. Like I was looking at the Wyoming Guard because I'm an air traffic controller.
Okay.
Well, their education is you can go to a Wyoming school for free.
Right.
But I live in Utah, so is there any way that you?
Are you going to be separating and moving to Wyoming?
No, I would stay here.
Okay.
I would just stay in the Guard there.
So then, okay, so you would commute is what you're saying. Yeah. So you would actually fall into the Wyoming. Yeah. So So why wouldn't you want to join the Utah Guard?
Because there's no air traffic controllers.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So that's something we'd have to look into a little bit more in depth. But yeah, the state benefits go off of the state that you join. Yeah. Who else had a question back here?
I was gonna say, do you have a list of those jobs that are offering bonuses, and how would you?
I do. Yeah, absolutely. So come talk to me if you're interested in separating, and we can definitely talk about that. I have the whole list. Definitely. Yeah. What else?
The Guard.
It's okay.
So say if I got the $20,000 for doing my job for Palace Front, how long would I have to wait before I could retrain?
If you got the $20,000. Okay, so whenever you come to us and we actually give you a $20,000 bonus, you're gonna pick your AFSC. So the AFSC that you're going into is gonna have that $20,000 bonus, and it's for a 6-year commitment. So it's not off of the AFSC that you're separating under, it's off the AFSC you choose when you join the National Guard.
Okay.
Oh, did you have the other one?
Yeah, the reserves post their jobs.
Yes, we do too. Actually, on that that little handout that I gave you, there's a website, and I actually have my card in there. And goang.com is actually our website. That's where we post all of our jobs. On that, we have, hey guys. On that, we have all of the vacancies. However, I don't want you to look at that list and limit yourself, because sometimes units, you know, maybe constantly recruiting to it and don't get it updated as quickly. So if you have a particular job that you're wanting to do at a particular state and it's not in, you know, that website, just come talk to me. I sometimes can work some deals that get you what you want, okay? Yeah. Did you have a question, sir? No, okay. So the handout I gave you, if you raise your hand and you are planning on re-enlisting, that handout, give to one of your coworkers that may be separating, you know, give it to them. It has my card information in it. You know, help out some of your airmen. If you're a supervisor in here and you have any airmen that are, you know, under the unfortunate situation where they actually have to separate, yeah, just hand that to them and say, hey, give Sergeant Cook a call, and I'll just talk to him, you know, see what I can do for him, because the biggest thing is we want to keep our members in the service. Has anybody ever been at the gas station and you're in uniform and somebody comes up to you and say, man, I used to be in the Air Force and I wish I didn't get out? Has that ever happened to anybody in here? Yeah. So all I want to say is, if you're on that edge where you're not sure if you're going to want to re-enlist, or if you're wanting to stay in, you know, think about it really hard, because once you separate, it's a whole lot harder to get back into the Air Force, the Air National Guard, or any branch of service. You know how hard it was to get through MEPS, right? Probably when you were 18, 19, you know, maybe you guys were in your 20s. You know, you've probably been on deployments now, you know, different things like that. They're gonna have all that information. So if you separate, it just adds that extra step that we have to do. Not saying that we can't get you in, because we can and we still want to. It just adds that extra step. So just think about it really long and hard. Come talk to me, have a one-on-one, you know, and we'll see what we can, you know, find for you, you know, as far as that goes. Yeah, so, anyone else have any questions? Yes, sir.
Are there any programs to go back from guards active duty, so if you don't like it?
You know, it's all based on active duty's manning at the time. So active duty takes prior service members periodically, you know, but it's one of those case-by-case situations, depending on the rank, you know, depending on how much time you have in and things like that. And then just depending on, you know, the nature of what's going on active duty at the time. Yeah. Yeah, so you know, just think about it, you know, if you can re-enlist. I mean, you know, active duty is a good program. I mean, it really, really is. So, but if, you know, if you're in a situation where you want off, or you're looking at, you don't like your job, like I talked about, and you just can't do those jobs, well then, you know, then that's something that we can definitely look at for you. Yes, sir.
Do you guys, like the reserve, goes on deployments and supports active duty?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. Deployments. So most of our deployments are on a volunteer basis. So yes, we are a lot like the reserves. We go on federal deployments. They are a volunteer basis. Remember how I was saying a minute ago, your career lies in your hands? Well, our deployments are somewhere typically between 45 and 60 days. However, we do have, you know, longer deployments, whether they're 6 months or a year. Most of them are, like I said, on a volunteer basis. If you're in certain career fields like security forces or something like that, it may have a little bit of a higher deployment tempo, but it all depends on the unit that you're attached to. So, you know, if you're a person that loves to deploy, then the opportunity is definitely there. But if you're a person that you know, just doesn't want to deploy, that wants to stay at home, you know, for whatever reason, then that, again, you know, that's not something that we're typically going to make you do. And then even if the deployment comes down for your squadron, it's a short deployment, 45 and 60 days. And really the reason why our deployments are short, compared to the typical 6 months that you guys typically go on, is because our members are in the community. They have jobs, full-time jobs, they're going to school, things like that. So if we took our members out of the community for 6 months, a year at a time, how many people think that our community is going to like us very much? Right? They're not. They're going to, you know, if we did that all the time, you know, working